Take two. Today I'm gonna be talking to you guys about how to not get burnt out when dating men. A lot of women get very burnt out when it comes to dating men because they have extremely unrealistic expectations as to how they want the relationship to be, how they want the first date to be. He better open the door for me. There's not a lot of good men. There's not a lot of good gentlemen out there, And so you get frustrated because the standard that you're measuring relationships is based on a standard that's very unrealistic. You're using the wrong stick to measure your life. Remember, happiness is a function of expectations. So I'm gonna show you ways for you to date, meet guys, get to know them, find out if they're a good mate while remaining, how can I say this, while not getting hurt as often per se. You see, because a lot of women get hurt not because they don't know what to do, because we do know what to do depending on if we have the emotional state in that moment. For example, if you're talking to a guy that you don't like, you naturally act attractive. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll naturally act attractive. Like, you'll take long to respond to him, so you'll come across more attractive. But if you like the guy, suddenly the emotions cause you to act unattractive. You see? So what I'm saying is that you do know how to do certain things, you see? But it's that you just, when you're talking to a guy and you need the validation, right? You begin to put effort. And that effort causes the guy not to be able to chase you because you're giving in too easily. You see, so I'm gonna show you guys how to date in a way where you're leaning back and he's chasing you, all while finding out if the relationship is good without getting hurt as often. Because that's a problem. Like, you gotta get to the point where you date and you're able to say no to the guy, but at the same time, be able to say, you know what, I want you, all with the same intensity. Is having high intention but low attachment, like I always say. All right. So this is how we're gonna be doing this. Realize, don't put too much effort into a guy. That's the first thing, all right? Put the appropriate amount of effort while remaining effortless. That's the point of all of this, all right? Wanting something and then having to find the mean causes exhaustion. Use what you have right now. In other words, know what the kind of person you are. Know how you look. Know the kind of guys that you usually have, and know the kind of guys that you usually lose. And learn to realize what you're able to attract, right? Because if you look a certain way, right, and some women not everyone can get Leonardo DiCaprio. And if that's your goal, you're gonna be consistently frustrated, you see? So you gotta know the environment. Where are you? What kind of guys are there? You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of women, they get frustrated. Also, you gotta realize the times we're in. A lot of people don't seem to be into the whole old school kind of way of dating. So you have to adjust to the times. And if you don't adjust to the times, you're gonna suffer. You see? And also the times in terms of how you're meeting people. If you're not embracing online dating, you gotta embrace it. You see, you gotta make this effortless. And if you don't adjust to the times, it's gonna be more difficult because you're gonna be wishing the times were like they used to be in the past, like the good old days, But little do you realize that the older you get, the longer the walk to school. You see? So realize that in rewind. Okay, so in other words, think of your strengths, weaknesses, likes and dislikes, and plan out according to those resources. All right, put yourself in the best position to win. This is how you create realistic goals. If you have a means and someone else did the same, compare what they did and see what they did differently. In other words, because I wrote those notes a long time ago. In other words, know what you have, know what you don't like in a guy, know what you like in a guy, right, and have those standards. Right, have a cutoff point where you say, this is what I won't accept. You see, but make it realistic. Because if nobody has that trait, then you're just going to fuck yourself over. You see, have that trait where you say, this is what I want, and this is one trait where I will not compromise myself, and usually a person's value. Also have the cutoff point where the trait where you say, this is the trait that I will not accept. You see? And so you got to know those limits, because if you don't know those limits, what tends to happen is that when you become so needy that you adjust your limits according to the need. And if the person knows how to manipulate you, and if you're susceptible enough as a result of having a childhood, all based on seeking validation, looking to live for other people, you're going to fall into that trap. And that's why some people get themselves in an abusive relationship. A lot of times it's by luck. Like, some women, they're lucky to find a good guy. But if they would have met a certain other guy by luck, they would have gone into an abusive relationship. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just luck. But generally speaking, if you don't know what you want exactly in the guy and what you don't want, and have that clear standard, you're not going to be able to be happy. You're gonna always be hurt. You're gonna always be fluctuating your standards based on the guys. You know what I'm saying? All right. So these are some of the ways, some tactics right now that I'm gonna show you to date, but at the same time not get hurt, get close, but at the same time not get too close, so that you're able to analyze the guy, right, in an objective way. At the same time, investing, but without getting hurt. High intention, but low attachment. All right. So these are some of the ways. So I'm showing you guys some of the ways to be able to approach the guy, to get to know the guy without getting hurt. All right. So here it goes. The first one is deception. All right. It's hiding your intentions. Give him a different target so that he could get diverted. Set a barrier so that he can batter through it. Make him think he won you over. You see what I'm saying? So in other words, hide your intentions. Like, don't tell them exactly what you want out of the relationship. You see, like, hide them. Don't say exactly that you just want a relationship. All right, let them guess it. Let them guess it. You see, because if you just tell them that you want a relationship, what tends to happen is that you tend to open yourself up more because you're exposing what you want. You see what I'm saying? So hide those intentions so that he has to excavate for them, so that he has to bring it out of you, and actually makes him chase, like trying to find out what your intention is. All right, give him a different target. So again, you could use this by friend zoning him. Make him think that he has to win your validation because you friend zoned him. You see? So when he wins you over, he's like, ooh, I was able to get over that hurdle of being in the friend zone. When in reality, he already had you. But you just gave him the wrong target so that he could work more. You could just chill out more. All right. Set a barrier so that he could battle through it. Like it's similar to the friend zoning. What else? Make him think that he won you over. So that's the thing. Okay. So the other thing is, two ways. Another way to avoid getting hurt too much is avoid the men who are the players. Also, you know what I'm saying? Like avoid those guys. All right. See, I'm telling you guys to avoid them, but I bet you guys are gonna be like, you know what? Maybe I should see what he's talking about. All right. They will not react to you. In other words, pick the right victim. You see, like guys who are players and who have a lot of options, right? They're not going to react to a lot of these tactics. They're not going to react to a lot of them. They may have seen them already. So you have to pick the guys that are not too player. You see, not every player is made the same. I hate using that word player, but as I'm talking to you women, I gotta use the phrases you guys use, like pulling away. I just found out about pulling away from teaching women this. So yeah, avoid the wrong ones. Also accept the losses. That's hard, but you gotta learn how to accept the losses. Sometimes a person rejecting you doesn't reflect how you look, doesn't reflect your actual worth as a human being. Sometimes they just don't like you. Because a lot of times we reject a lot of things in life every day. We're always rejecting things. You see, so you're nothing special for you to be getting hurt and all that shit. Learn to let go by detaching the meaning behind it. Learn to take it as a game. If you're depressed and need happiness from a man, then it won't work out. You see, so if you don't know how to accept losses, then you will inevitably be very you will inevitably be clingy to a guy. You see, that's inevitable. Because you fear losing him. All right. Practice mindfulness and use a relationship as a spiritual practice. So what I like to do is when I'm interacting with women, a lot of times I don't do it because I want to do it. I do it because it's a spiritual practice with me. It's an intense situation, like approaching women or even being in a relationship. It's an intense situation because you feel a surge of emotion. Some days you feel happy, some days you feel sad, some days you feel pleasure, some days you feel pain. All right. And so what you have to do then is realize that since it's such a wave of emotions, that use it as a spiritual practice. Use it as a way to become more mindful. And the thing is that you grow more out of it and lose out of it if you actually treat it as an actual spiritual practice. And that's why I learned all of this by learning how to approach women a spiritual practice, because the more I got rejected, the more pain I felt and the more present I became. It's kind of a paradox, but it's kind of like it's a win-win. It really is. If I got rejected, good. If I got the girl, ooh, that's good, right? Another one is be aware of the red flags. See, this is things that if you don't go into the relationship not looking for the red flags, like looking away to fuck up, right? But just being aware that if you see it, you'll know it. Not because you're looking like, what's the red flag? Are you playing? No, see, that's out of fear. It's just aware, like, okay, interesting, right? You see, and so that's how you do it. Don't compromise your values, all right? Know what you want, your cutoff point, and stick to it, like I said earlier. All right. And because once you go out of that cutoff point, if you're just doing it for the moment, just to get the guy, what's going to happen is that you are unconsciously rejecting yourself. And that's adding to the additional pain that you feel. You see? And that's how you do it. And if you follow these guidelines, very simple guidelines, it's going to help you avoid getting hurt in relationships. All right. And you'll be able to keep dating people and finding new people without feeling a lot of pain, without going through all the rejection. And again, you're going to feel rejected, but you're going to be able to deal with it better. You're not going to be doing all the chasing and they're going to be coming to you. All right. And if you treat it as a spiritual practice, then you'll be all much better. Anyways, this is Alex from mindfulattraction.org. I'm going to be making another video today. All right. If you're interested in one-on-one coaching, just let me know. And I'll be seeing you guys soon. Bye-bye.